Has Muhammad Yunus surrendered to the most radical fundamentalists and extremists who believe in terrorism? He has been giving legitimacy and freedom to leaders and cadre of organizations that have a target as their dangerous objective, India. For them, the export of terrorism is an act of political and personal faith. So the question remains, under the guise of neutrality, is this government steering Bangladesh towards a more dangerous path, one that could have severe repercussions for India? What is the real agenda behind the decisions this new leadership is making, and what does this mean for India? The Bangladesh interim government's recent decisions prompt these questions, especially their decision to release Jashimuddin Rahmani, the chief of the Ansarullah Bangla team, ABT, on parole on Monday, that India is likely to perceive as a massive red flag. Rahmani is the leader of a terrorist organization with deep ties to the Al-Qaeda. As per reports, the ABT outfit has been relentlessly working to establish a jihadi network across the subcontinent region, especially in the northeastern parts of India, with the help of sleeper cells. And so the decision to free such a figure is not just concerning, but rather alarming for India. Why is this government, which openly claims to uphold peace and justice, making moves that could destabilize the entire region? As per reports, ABT under Rahmani's leadership has been actively involved in plotting against India. 2 ABT operatives were arrested in Guwahati earlier this year, allegedly with the intent to spread the outfit's terror network into India's northeastern states. This, however, is not just an isolated incident. It may just be part of a broader and deeply troubling pattern. Rahmani's release comes on the heels of a violent jailbreak in Bangladesh earlier this month. As per reports, on the 6th of August, over 500 inmates escaped a high-security prison in northern Bangladesh's Sherpur district on the 6th of August, following an armed attack by a mob. Among those who allegedly escaped was high-ranking ABT leader Ikramul Haq. As per reports, Haq, the India operations head of ABT, was arrested last year with the help of Indian intelligence. His escape, along with Rahmani's release, may signal a deliberate weakening of the security framework that kept these extremists in check. So is this interim government deliberately turning a blind eye to the threat posed by these groups? Or worse, are they complicit in their resurgence? Remember, the previous government under Sheikh Hasina was staunch against anti-India forces. Under Sheikh Hasina, there was a crackdown on anti-India elements, but this created resentment among certain factions within the country. Factions that are now gaining power and influence under the interim government. A case in point comes just from earlier this week. As per reports, the Deepto Shopot sculpture built in the memory of police officers killed in the terror attack at Holy Artisan Bakery in 2016 has been damaged and replaced with a poster of banned terrorist outfit Hizb-ut Tahrir. Reportedly on Tuesday night, broken pieces of the vandalized sculpture were found scattered on the ground along with the poster of Hizb-ut Tahrir. Now, just to recap here, on the 1st of July 2016, young Islamist terrorists carried out a terror attack on Holy Artisan Bakery, an eatery especially popular among foreigners. 5 young attackers, armed with pistols, submachine guns, sharp weapons, grenades, stormed the cafe and started an overnight siege. Later, they slaughtered and shot dead 20 diners, including 9 Italians, 7 Japanese, a US citizen, and an Indian. 2 police officers were also killed in the attack as they tried to reach the assailants inside the cafe. In memory of these 2 officers, the Dhaka police had inaugurated this sculpture in 2018. Ever since the end of the Awami League government earlier this month, many structures across Bangladesh have either been vandalized or destroyed completely, including those of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and the ones built in the memory of the Liberation War. In 2009, the Awami League had banned Hizb-ut-Tahrir. The outlawed Hizb-ut-Tahrir has been holding public rallies since Hasina fled the country. Hizb-ut-Tahrir has openly spoken about establishing an Islamic caliphate in Bangladesh. Now, with a government that seems more sympathetic to their cause, the question arising is that are we seeing a resurgence of these dangerous ideologies, including pro-Jamaat and pro-Pakistan groups who have long viewed India with suspicion? And let's not forget, these developments are taking place amid growing ties between Bangladesh and Pakistan. During Hasina's tenure, relations between Dhaka and Islamabad were strained. But now, with the change in leadership, we are seeing a renewed effort to rebuild the ties. The diplomatic shift could very well pose a potential threat to India's security. Reports state that Bangladesh is set to receive a substantial shipment of defense materials from Pakistan starting next month, including 40,000 rounds of ammunition and explosives like RDX and high-intensity projectiles. This shipment is nearly 4 times higher than last year's order. Is this a clear signal that Bangladesh may be aligning itself with forces that are openly hostile to India? You see, the implications for India are profound. The northeastern states, already vulnerable to due to their geographical disadvantages, are at particular risk. Remember, the Siliguri corridor, also known as the Chicken Neck, is as narrow as 20 kilometers in certain parts. This corridor links India's 7 northeastern states and is surrounded by Bangladesh, Nepal, China and Bhutan. Insurgent groups in this region have long used Bangladesh as a safe haven, but under Sheikh Hasina, there was cooperation to root out these elements. And now, with the interim government seemingly turning a blind eye, or worse, actively facilitating the resurgence of these groups, the security situation in the northeast could worsen rapidly.
My God.
India may also have to contend with the resurgence of Jamaat-e-Islami, Bangladesh's largest Islamist political party, which has historically opposed India's interests. This party, remember, fought against Indian forces during the Bangladesh Liberation War. It is once again gaining influence under the new government. There is a real risk that Jamaat and other extremist factions will reassert their power, further destabilizing the region. So can India trust the interim government in Bangladesh to act in a way that ensures regional stability? Or should it start preparing for a more adversarial relationship? The latest developments and the growing anti-India sentiment all point to a disturbing trend. Regardless, one thing is clear: India cannot afford to be complacent. The stakes are way too high. Bangladesh's interim government may just have shown its hand, and now it might be India's time to show its resolve. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.